Good evening, everyone. I am Wijetunge, and this is a co-authored paper. I have done this as a part of an ongoing research, and this is a literature review, together with Jayasinghe and Weerarathne. My topic today is using scaffolding to enhance ESL speaking motivation at undergraduate level. When it comes to ESL learning and teaching process, the English language is basically divided into 4 components. That is reading, writing, speaking, and listening. But when it comes to listening and speaking, less recognition is given even in the Asian context, because most of the time the students are exam-oriented in the Asian context, because they only focus on reading and writing skills as they want to fulfill a socio-economic necessity, according to Raja. In 1993, he has proven this in studies. And Pereira in 2010 has also mentioned that due to this problem, students become anxiety-driven and taciturn when they pass out from the schools and enter the university, and even in the university they do not excel in their standards in speaking. And so by the time they pass out from the universities as graduates, they remain the same. They become incompetent communicators when English is concerned. Even though many instructors have expressed their frustrations to find the reasons for this reticent behavior and work out suitable strategies to help students, nothing has come out so far as solid evidence. So that has been mentioned by Soom and Go in 2013. The aim of this research is to identify or to point out the importance of the theory of scaffolding by Bruner, and to suggest the importance of using scaffolding as a solution to this problem. So, first of all, I want to explain what scaffolding is. It is the process of scaffolding is where the teacher helps the student to master a task or concept that the student is initially unable to grasp independently. The teacher offers assistance with only those skills that are beyond the student's capability. So with the assistance of a teacher, a lecturer, a well-known other, or a peer, one should be able to achieve better standards or heights. According to Jeremy Bruner, he explains that scaffolding refers to the steps taken to reduce the degrees of the freedom in carrying out some tasks, so that the child can concentrate on the difficult skills he or she is in the process of acquiring. There are various interpretations for scaffolding, and I don't want to go into detail about these things. But Virgin and Virgin in 2011 points out, saying that scaffolding occurs by breaking down the skill into small units and guiding performance to a higher level. So if one needs to learn and go to a higher level, scaffolding has to be provided. It can be done within the classroom. I want to explain what zone of proximal development is. This is a theory by Vygotsky, and in the first column of the white area represents what is known by an independent learner, and the learning process described the proximal development mentions that these are the skills too difficult for a child to master on his or her own, but that can be done with the guidance and encouragement from a knowledgeable person. So with the guidance and the encouragement by a person who is more prominent in the subject area, this person, the individual learner, can achieve something greater and reach what is not known. So this is basically scaffolding. I do not want to go into detail about the Vygotskian theories. If I address the research question, it is, can scaffolding be incorporated into the ESL classroom to enhance ESL speaking motivation of ESL learners or undergraduates? The objective of this study is to discuss how scaffolding can improve a language learner's motivation and speaking confidence in the ESL classroom when they are provided these 3 components: peer feedback, constructive criticism, and Q&A sessions. So according to literature, we have found out that by offering these 3 means, we can assist the learner to enhance speaking competencies within the ESL classroom. So how do we do this? As I mentioned earlier, the methodology comprises of secondary data and qualitative data. First of all, constructive criticism. What I mean here are the points for one to improve the existing standards in a language or the subject area. In this case, it's English. This is the criticism offered to the student or learner, but the criticism offered should not be taken as negative criticism, as in Sinhala we say Wijetunge. It's not that. It has to be the positive, say the comments provided by one person should be taken as a benefit, a means of scaffolding in order to enhance the language. So the teachers have to involve in open dialogue after the presentation in order to do so. And now I want to speak something else apart from this slide. When teaching English, nowadays we use task-based activities within the classroom. When we are focusing on English speaking, we use communicative task-based activities, which involve role plays, debates, dialogues, dramas, and so on. So if we take role playing for an instance, when we give a role playing activity to the students, they are given a specific time in order to prepare themselves, and the target for them is to come and present the role play in front of the class. If we give a role play based on a controversial issue such as maybe they need education or something like that, the students are expected to do a good job at the end of the presentation preparations. So after doing the preparations, the teachers and the observers who are observing the presentation should be able to offer a piece of advice, a piece of guidance, or point out the weak areas in the presentation, so that the students can master themselves and learn from the comments that they are offered. In Toastmasters International, I hope you all know what Toastmasters International is. It's a club which improves public speaking competency and skills of English speakers. They have presentations in every club meeting. So after these presentations, there is an evaluator who identifies speech strengths and offers suggestions for improvement. So that is one of the main and key reasons why these Toastmasters excel in their public speaking competence, and they build their confidence in speaking. In a research conducted by Stone, he discusses that several studies on scaffolding on teacher-child interactions where scaffolding is found to be very effective. Firestone describes that students should possess new found knowledge through constructivism. And the students or the learners or the undergraduates should have the knowledge in order to reason out what they are offered as constructive criticism and take advantage from the points made. Peer feedback is the second aspect that I want to focus on as a means of scaffolding and which can be incorporated into the classroom. This is about cooperative learning which happens within the classroom. Similar to the example that I took earlier on role playing on a controversial issue, when the students are engaged in the process of rehearsing the role play, they get together, they work out solutions for their problems. If the students can see their peers making mistakes, they correct themselves and they try to move a step further and do their best. So during this activity, they grow and they improve their standards in speaking and they improve their vocabulary and expressional skills as well. If one makes grammar mistakes, the other student points out what mistakes that he or she has done and then they can correct themselves in a later time. So according to Namgyang in 2003, he mentions how the students discuss among themselves and brainstorm ideas, and they are generally mentally relaxed among the presence of their peers. Since the peers are able to provide honest feedback, the students are made to feel comfortable mentally, and they feel very mentally stimulated and motivated to present themselves in front of the class. So they get rid of their anxieties, they get rid of their embarrassment when they are asked to come in front of the class and do a presentation. So naturally, they improve their speaking skills. Goldlock, similar to the previous researcher Chamila pointed out, mentions how activities such as dramas and role plays increase facility to meet changing or unknown stimuli with immediate responses in the students. So when they are practicing, they come across new ideas, they brainstorm their ideas, they learn from their peers, as well as they get exposed to situation-specific dialogues and conversations and expressions. According to a research done by Shin, explains that role playing is associated with higher frequency of problem identification. So when the students are involved in peer feedback sessions or rehearsing sessions, they identify their mistakes and they move forward by correcting the mistakes. Peer feedback activities engage learners in cognitive interactions of sharing relevant experiences, exchanging ideas, and negotiating meaning. Enabling students to revise their work on the basis of peer feedback, improved domain-specific skills, mentions Sander in 2010. And finally, Weerarathne in 1997 and Shank in 2008 have mentioned in their research that when receiving and providing feedback, students have the ability to articulate and clarify their own thinking, to view peers' ideas, to negotiate, and make sense of different perspectives. So they learn a lot. The final aspect or component that I want to aspect with regard to scaffolding are Q&A sessions, which also take place after the presentations of the students. So asking and answering questions based on the presentations or any TBA allows the students to be more prepared in their speaking. Say for an example, after this presentation, I am talking. So after this, all four of us will be asked questions from which we are expected to learn. If criticism is provided, we are expected to learn from that also. So that is a form of feedback and scaffolding. The preparation process itself is a means of improving ESL speaking, because the students expose themselves to new vocabulary, new expressions, and they also try to reply or respond spontaneously. So in this regard, they try to do a good job and lessen their mistakes in speaking. So this is an excellent way to reinforce a message and continue to sell your ideas, as there will be clarifications. This is as mentioned by Boyd in 2014. Coach Charlotte and Walters further describes this and say that Q&A sessions after a storytelling task allow the students to be motivated and work out solutions for their problems in language more competently beyond the teacher's influence. The findings of this research reveal that the eclectic method can enhance this ESL speaking confidence of undergraduates in the Asian context. Eclectic method in this regard means the different approaches which can be utilized in the classroom and be incorporated in the learning and teaching process. The students get rid of their frustrations and fear in expressing the language when they are in front of the class among their familiar peers and teachers. So there should be a free environment for the students to learn, and that will benefit them a lot. And when there is a student-centered environment, the students feel free and they feel less anxiety-driven and taciturn. These are the suggestions in this research and recommendations. It is suggested that the students should be offered more chances to communicate and learn from their peers, as in more task-based activities or cooperative learning should be involved in the classroom. This will enable them to become more self-assured in their communications. Undergraduates should be allowed to learn in a mentally relaxing environment with less influence from lecturers. I would say when the students are influenced or when the activities are being troubled or intervened by the other parties, they don't learn much. So they have to be given enough time for them to discuss and brainstorm and grow among themselves, and they will actually grow. Constructive criticism should be offered after oral presentations, which will benefit the students to lessen their grammatical, expressional, and presentational mistakes when being involved in speaking activities. And Q&A sessions allow the students to be pre-prepared for the questions asked and enhance the situation-specific language and expressions. These are my references. Thank you very much.